off Key Largo, going on our glass bottom boat tour. It's quite the view. It's a beautiful day here in Key Largo, Florida. Waters are blue. It's about 80 degrees. It's a good day.
I was looking forward. Let me remind those of you who are feeling less enthused, it was a 7-mile trip out here. That is a pretty long swim back, so I'll ask you one more time, how was that trip out here? Woo! Much better, the enthusiasm is appreciated. Now before I start talking about this reef, first let me show you the best way to observe this reef today. That's going to be to sit down with your legs hanging over the glass. Now not only to disorient you more, we are beginning to pass over some coral now. So also while I'm talking, it's important, try not to look at me while I'm talking. A lot of things can go by pretty fast down here. So like I said anymore, what I would suggest doing is heading topside, getting some fresh air. These really insignificant small fish like that, because they organize their family in a very, very interesting way. They're what are called polyps. Now polyps are a lot like tiny little jellyfish. They're a small clear sac-like creature with a mouth on one end and generally 6 tentacles surrounding that mouth. Polyps can range in size from as small as the point of a head of a pin, which are going to be most of the corals we're looking at here, to as large as 5 inches across in the deep sea reefs that don't require light to live, so the polyps have to be bigger so they can catch more things to eat. Now these soft corals, like our common sea fans, as they grow, those polyps excrete what's called keratin. That's the same substance your fingernails are made out of. On the other hand, our hard corals, like our encrusted coral, that's that stuff that looks like melted yellow marshmallow. You guys, I'm sure, can notice up front here. And in back, I'm sure you've noticed it as well. Now, as those hard corals grow, they excrete what's called calcium carbonate. That's limestone. So these large rocky formations we're seeing out here, it's important to point out that they're not just random rocks sitting out here for no reason. They're actually thousands and thousands of years of coral growth and coral death. When hard coral dies, it leaves that limestone exoskeleton behind. New coral attaches itself to it and grows from there. Coral grows very, very slowly. The largest common sea fans are seeing are around 25, the upwards of 30 years old. They only grow about a half a centimeter high. You do not have to live on a shore to be affected by the health of these reefs. Over the entire world, we would all be affected if these reefs were to die out. Unfortunately, in the past 15 to 20 years, we've lost about 50% of all the Florida reef tract, and this isn't just affecting this reef, it's affecting the Great Barrier Reef. I believe they've lost about 65% of their reef to things like bleaching and pollution. Now, I'll be able to point out some bleaching for you guys in just a moment. Look at those encrusted corals down there. That's the stuff that looks like melted yellow marshmallow. That should all be very deep yellow. You might notice some of it is pale or even white. Microalgae photosynthesize the sunlight. They turn that light into glucose, amino acids, and other nutrients. But most importantly, the glucose, giving the coral 70 to 90% of the energy that it needs to live. Now, ideally, the water should be between 60 upwards of 85 degrees. Those microalgae no longer do that. In fact, they kick into overdrive. They produce too much oxygen. That oxygen will bounce around and destroy the coral's DNA. So they open up and they push all those microalgae out of them, leaving them that bone white color. These microalgae actually give the corals all the colors you see as well. Now, if you see bleached coral, it does not necessarily mean it is very time-consuming, difficult process. They break each coral up individual polyps. They break them up in individual polyps. They actually grow faster if you do it that way. They grow them in underwater laboratories. and then replant them out here. Like I said, we replanted 180,000 of them. Unfortunately, Irma hit shortly after that and destroyed quite a bit of them. Now you might be wondering how hurricanes affect these reefs. It is not entirely negative. It does destroy a reef on occasion, but also it gets rid of excess sand. This reef had about 4 or 5 feet of excess sand on it before Irma came through. She spread that sand out, opening a lot of faces of rocks for new polyps to attach and grow to. Coral cannot grow off of sand, so in a way that was kind of a good thing. Now we do have a few shipwrecks out here. Halips do not distinguish good from bad food. If they can put it in their mouths, they will try to eat it. So take a shower first. It's also very important that you do not wear any makeups, perfumes, or colognes. That stuff is even more deadly to this coral. And I guarantee when you leave this water, you will smell like salt water. And all your makeup will be rinsed off anyway. So do these corals a favor, don't wear any of that stuff. Fingers, those are called sea fingers. A lot of things are given their name down here, either for what they look like or what they do.
Oh, look at the fish.
This large school in front, you guys are about to see in back of black and yellow striped fish. Those are called sergeant majors. Now, sergeant majors are a very popular fish to the divers down here. They call them greeter fish oftentimes because if you swim down here, they will swim right up to your goggles and say hello. They'll swim through your hair. They're very, very friendly, very curious. So keep that in mind, kids. That is true, including the sand out here. Now, a few moments ago, I saw a small school of cigar-shaped gray fish clustered around the bottom of some of those rocks. Those were